What's going on, players? Welcome to another episode of REiD the ROOM, the podcast, the playground for self-discovery and the rebrand for adulting. Welcome to my room. Take off your shoes. Oh, yeah. You are now listening to the REiD the ROOM podcast. I'm your girl, Miss Dion. Yeah. What's going on, family? How are you doing this week? How's your heart? How's your mind? How's your belly? How's your head? How's your toes? How's your knees? Whatever you're feeling, bank that, improve that, work on that, hear it, feel it, do it, chew it. Anyway, whatever you're working through, I hope you grow through it, yeah? All right? So I'm going to get straight into it today. This week's theme is Tetris. For those of you who don't know how to play Tetris, it's an old school game. I think it was made in like the 1980s. But basically what it is if you think about blocks falling from the sky that are all shaped differently, you've got like the L shape, you've got the square, you've got the rectangle, all these different shaped blocks. And your aim is to navigate and move the blocks to fit into this uniform line. Once you fit it into this line, then the line disappears. So the aim is to get the block from A to B in the line and strategically slot them in the gaps so that the line disappears. So with that in mind, our prompt is, what happens when you're so focused on fitting in that you disappear? What? Oh no, hold on.
What? Come on! Don't get me mad.
You know what? I was a little bit hesitant to explore this topic because I was like, is it too similar to the first episode, which is hide and seek? But then I thought, one is like you choosing to not be seen, which is the hide and seek one. And then the other is actively trying to fit in so much that you erase yourself. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So there is actually a term for it and it's called self-erasure. And I remember watching on Instagram this lady, this psychologist, Dr. Thema, and she was speaking about self-erasure and my mind was blown because it was such an everyday experience in the way that she described it. It wasn't like, someone will groom and attack, or it wasn't that. It was, you can naturally erase yourself over a period of time. And so let me give you the definition of self-erasure and then you can maybe identify where you've maybe demonstrated it in your life. All right, so self-erasure, the meaning behind self-erasure. Self-erasure is the act of suppressing, hiding, or minimizing parts of who you are, your identity, your voice, your needs, your emotions, or values, in order to be accepted, avoid conflict, or fit in. It often happens subconsciously, especially in environments that reward conformity or discourage authenticity. Right, so let me give you an example of self-erasure and you'll see how kind of like natural it is, yeah? Somebody asks you, what do you want to eat today? And you go, oh, I don't mind. Whatever you want to eat, I'll eat. It's okay, I don't mind. Self-erasure. Self-erasure. If you do it once, okay, it's cool. But if you do it continuously, that person now goes, oh, they won't mind what we eat. Let's just order anything and they'll be okay with it. So innocent, so innocent. It might be, all right, it's your birthday coming up. What do you want for your birthday? Oh, listen, I don't mind. I'm not fussed. You get me anything you like. It's just the thought that counts. Self-erasure. I'm telling you, it's such a natural thing. And eventually that person's like, you know what, I'll get them whatever. They won't mind. And then you go into different spaces and you go, what type of person will thrive in this setting? So it's not even a version of you. It's just what ingredients will work in this space. And what you're doing in that is you're actively erasing yourself from the conversation. So when I found out about self-erasure, I was like, wow. Oh my God. Oh my gosh. Wow. I was like, whoa. Apparently it's more common in women. apparently, because we're always assessing or reading the room. And then eventually you become someone completely different to who you actually are. And then resentment builds. Resentment, and bitterness will internalize and externalize. That's what happens. But with that said, I'm going to give you a few examples of where self-erasure could show up in like your everyday life. So your workplace, maybe your home, or your romantic relationships or your friendships. Okay. So I'm just going to read some things and then, listen out to anything that feels or sounds familiar to you, okay? All right, so examples at work. And remember, this is not just like one-off things. These are things that you do like constantly over a period of time, yeah? So you may stay late or over deliver and never speak about being overwhelmed and never initiate anything that speaks to your value. You avoid correcting people when they say your name wrong or misuse your title. You don't apply for the promotion because you don't want to be seen as too ambitious. Downplaying your culture, your personality or your creativity to not stand out too much. Staying quiet in a meeting when you have something to say in fear of disrupting the space, even if you know it will benefit the environment. And then we've got like home life. And the thing is, some of these things may cross over into like different areas and different fields, yeah? So you smile and you nod through conversations you disagree with. You change the subject when it comes to talking about your dreams because you feel like they're too big for the room. You dim your joy or success to avoid making others feel uncomfortable. Then we go into friendships. Laughing at jokes that make you feel uncomfortable to avoid being the awkward one. Saying yes when you really mean no because being liked is safer than being honest. You only share your wins with certain friends so they don't feel away. You downplay your boundaries just to avoid being the serious one. All right, so we're going to romantic relationships, okay? You avoid saying what's on your heart to keep the vibe easy. You say, it's fine, even when it's not, just to avoid deep conversations. You shrink your confidence or independence so that your partner feels needed. You stop dreaming out loud because you think it makes your partner feel uncomfortable. You make yourself less expressive so that they don't call you too much or too emotional. Those are some of the ways that self-erasure shows up. There's reasons why you would self-erase. And here are some of the reasons. So there's fear of rejection or being too much. There's conditioning, especially from childhood or systemic pressures. There's internalized shame or imposter syndrome. There's people-pleasing habits. And then there's survival responses in unsafe or invalidating environments. It's such a common thing. And so there's ways to create solutions. It might feel a little bit uncomfortable. You're going to have to start working out ways to feel like a priority. Oh my God. What does it feel like to be important or to be a priority? And so, my accent was coming out there. A priority, for like those extra syllables. Some people feel really uncomfortable with being made a priority. So they'd rather self-erase because being seen is a bit painful, Solutions. All right. Some of the solutions that you can do are, for example, let's just all decide now that at some point in our lives, someone is going to ask us, what do you want to eat? So what you would do is you would bank maybe 3 or 4 places or restaurants that you would like to eat at or foods you would like to eat. Just have them banked. And then when someone asks you what you want to eat, you will say or suggest one of those restaurants. Even when it comes to your birthday, same thing. Bank some things that you need or you might want or you desire. And if it's hard to think of yourself in that way, maybe think about things that are more practical. And like we said with the restaurants and stuff, just bank some things that you would need, like a bag, like a water bottle or a power bank for your phone or your electronic devices. Something that that's useful. Maybe like, I don't know, some I was gonna say some baby wipes. Oh my God. But obviously think bigger than me, yeah. Because baby wipes is mad still. The aim is to have as many things about yourself banked, so when people ask you the questions, you give them a suggestion, you give them an answer. If they're not able to implement it immediately, then they will still consider you in the future. Try it out, see how it goes, and let me know.
Ridiculous.
This section of the show, ridiculous. This one is a good one. I think I might be onto something. All right, so today's ridiculous subject is, I think there's a few cartoon characters that are Jamaicans.
What?
I know. I think we've all known and we're just not saying it. My first cartoon character that I think is a Jamaican is Marge Simpson. Yes. Marge Simpson.
Oh my God! Wow!
I know. And it's not because of the obvious, blue hair. It's just because of the mannerisms. Sometimes when Marge is talking to Homer and she looks at him and then she does that sound. She does that sound. I'm like, she just sounds like a Jamaican mother, just disapproving. Even the outfit. Do you know what I mean? The colourful things, them. She a nice boob tube dress, a green dress and a red pearls. Colourful. No, come on, let's think about it. Let's really think about it. The next cartoon character that I think is Jamaican is an obvious one. Bugs Bunny. Bugs Bunny is obviously a Jamaican. If you just think about his stance. When you think about Bugs Bunny, you think about him laying down with his head like so and just eating a carrot on the veranda. I feel like Bugs Bunny could easily be... He could easily be an Elroy. Elroy? Where's Elroy? Do you know what I mean? Elroy gone again. Him gone. Elroy gone out town. Everybody's looking for Elroy. Where's Elroy? But then when Elroy shows up, even if he's late, everybody's like, oh, Elroy, you just come. Oh, Elroy, we miss you, man. We miss you. And then my third and final one for this time. There's definitely more, but for this moment, I'm going to stick to 3. And this cartoon character in particular, it might be a controversial one, potentially. Porky Pig. Is his name Porky Pig? I think he's saying Porky Pig. But that's all, folks. That one. Him, he is a Jamaican. He's one of the elders. He even sometimes has the bow tie. If you think about when the elders, when they get mad, like, if they want to discipline somebody, all of a sudden the stutter comes out. Me tell them to go down and pick up all of the things. And them, nah, pick it up. Do you know what I mean? When he said, that's all, folks. I said Jamaican straight up. I don't care. I hope no one's offended by this, by the way. It's just the way my mind works.
Read all about it.
So for today's Read All About It, I would love to shout out these 2 incredible women who are doing amazing things in the community. One in particular is Judith Samuels. For those of you who don't know Judith, she is like the mother of Islington. She manages a space in Islington called Lift Hub, and it used to be called White Lion. There's a lot of veterans that have come through there. I tell you what, many people. She has been the mother of the community and created an open door space where many young people have entered and felt safe, held, supported, loved, transformed. She's provided access to education, to healing, to a community, to parenting. Everyone from every background goes into that space and feels home. She's been doing it for 35 years and she looks exactly the same. Like so many of us have come through that space when we were younger. Remember that show, This Is Your Life? Yeah, she definitely needs one of those. And then I want to shout out Sharon Clark. Chad's was actually created through the devastating loss of her brother, whose name was Chad. And from that, sad situation birthed such an empowering, impactful company that is supporting so many young people today from different backgrounds. She's really transforming some of these young people's lives through life skills. One of the life skills in particular is cooking. She has catered for and taught over 1,000+ young people skills like cooking, independent living, all the things in between. There's a new wave of young people going in that space and coming out again transformed and creating great impact on the world. We really have to celebrate our community leaders because they're doing the bits. So thank you and big shouts out to Judith, Samuels and Sharon Clark. Big up yourselves. My final quote for today is, trying to fit in made me invisible. Owning my shape made me unforgettable.
Oh my God! Wow!
I need some new sounds. I need a mic drop sound. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of REiD the Room, guys. I really appreciate you being here with me. My name is Dion Reid, and brush your tongue. Yeah.